welcome and good evening. Welcome to our second episode of Millennials Tita and Titos um, podcast, episode 2, Red Flags. So, right now we're streaming here in TikTok, but the podcast will be streamed in the next few weeks, next few days. But here at first in TikTok Live, thank you for tuning in with me, our fellow millennial tito and tita, Ying, Carlo.
Millennial ba? Akala ko Gen Z ako eh.
Millennial. Ano ba? By the way, I'll be your host for tonight. I'm Kim, your TikTok Tito Millennial of Pampanga.
And I am Tin, your millennial tita of Sydney, Australia.
Wow.
Wow, ang layo, di ba?
Kailangan mo si Australia.
Nakikiraan lang po.
Yes, and this is Carlo, ang millennial tito ng Quezon City. Yan. So,
good evening, guys. It's exciting. It's been days, it's been weeks since we've been preparing for the second episode of this podcast, and we are really, really excited about this. Why did we decide on the next topic?
bakit nga ba?
Bakit nga ba? Sino ba nag-ulo
Well,
nito?
Kasi
Sino
yung
ba
unang
nag-isip
episode
niyan?
natin is why did we create the podcast? It's because we want to touch that audience ng millennials, yung mga titos and titas na, mga batang 90s, ayan.
Mhm.
But right now, we decided on the next episode, which is, I think it's very relatable right now. Very hot.
Mhm.
Hot!
Hot!
Very juicy.
Yeah.
Gusto natin yan,
Mainit-init
mga
pa.
Pinoy. Mainit-init pa.
Truth.
Diba? So syempre, pumili kami ng topic na we think is socially relevant right now. And as millennials, as the gateway generation on the new technology and kumbaga ang pinaglipasan ng tama ba Gen X? Ang pinaglipasan ng Gen X. Parang millennials are the perfect generation to witness such yung development from here and then. So, right now, our topic will be red flags on relationships. So, ano ba yung history nito? Actually, nag-decide kami to uh, to discuss this podcast because of the recent issue of the celebrities with the initials L and P.
Naku,
We will
sino
not
to?
name
Ayan.
we
Aga-aga
will
in the
not name
podcast,
names
meron agad,
because
blind
yes,
item.
hindi kasi 'di ba? Kaya tayo nag-discuss about that. It's because I think parang nung napag-usapan natin 'to, ano ba yung red flag, 'di ba? Parang very common yung term na yan ngayon describing letter P. Okay? So, alam niyo ba or nakita niyo na ba yung photo meme ng barkadahan na yon na red
Ako
flag? So, parang
doon.
Ay.
kami,
Nag-iinuman, tapos may isda sa gitna.
Mhm.
oo,
Mm.
kasi ba? So, hanapin nyo na sa Twitter or sa Facebook.
Nako.
Oo. Sino-sino ba yun?
Yes.
Alam ko, 5 lalaki yun eh.
Siyempre, oo nga. Siyempre, what's happening? Bakit naghihiwalay to si ganito, si ganyan? So again, we are reiterating that this is a red flag in terms of relationships. Bakit
Mhm.
nga ba naghihiwalay itong si ganito, si ganyan? Kasi si ganito, si ganyan. So, ang dami natin naririnig, ang dami nating opinion sa mga bagay-bagay, di ba? We are reading, seeing, and even watching videos sa mga interviews. Relationships, popular or not, di ba? How they crumble, how we speculate, who and what caused what, di ba? So, parang gustong-gusto natin yung mga juicy details na yan. Most of the times, it's the who. Right?
Nako,
So,
Tito Boy.
diba?
Sino ba taksi itong mga to?
We see opinions and perspectives from people who experience this or from the people close and even involved in these situations. So, kumbaga grapevine after grapevine vine na siya.
Mhm.
Aminin natin, napaka-juicy ng topic na to, and as Filipinos, we can't help but be curious on those nitty-gritty details.
Lalabas
Diba?
ang mga marites.
Siyempre, oo. Siyempre
Of
as netizens,
course.
as the bearer of technology kumbaga, as the children of technology, aminin natin gusto natin ng piece of pie, ng piece of our opinion, 'di ba? What causes the collision? What causes collision in social media? Because opinions are all over the place. End of the day, there's someone to blame. Sino 'yan? Red
Mhm.
flags. So, we will be talking about red flags for tonight. Pero first, i-define muna natin kung ano ang
Ano
red
nga ba
flag.
ang red flag?
Sabi ko,
Yes.
ayon kay
So,
Google,
ayan, ginugol
something
na.
that gives warning of trouble. An example of a red flag is when a series of numbers don't add up. When a number of series don't add up, which could be because of one of the numbers is listed incorrectly. So relating it, analyzing it sa situation, sa relationship, something does not add up. May mali. May mali sa series na yun. Sabi naman din ni Google, um, it can be a noun. It is a noun to mark, designate, or otherwise call attention to as being risky or unsuitable, etc. So, di ba? Ang creative lang kasi ngayon because this is such a simple term, right? Guys, do you agree?
Oo
Mm-mm.
naman.
Napakasimple lang din na to. Dati, red flag, nagagamit lang natin sa mga pag-games, ganyan, or sa mga props, di ba? Or
Oo
Literal,
nga.
literal
before,
yung red flag
literal,
dati.
literal na
Oo.
red flag lang. It
Oo.
was used before sa civil war na parang, oh, this is war. Ganun. Right now, it's
Di
not.
lang sa
Right.
Pilipinas, may
Di ba?
red flag. Ay, hindi ba pala. Joke lang, red light, green light pala.
Red flag, red flag. So,
Pero 'di ba kasi relative pa rin siya dun sa literal. For example, ah, yung spicy chicken, may red
True.
flag siya, 'di ba?
True.
So literal pa din siya. Kailangan mong i-mark kasi 'di ba? Parang alam mo na may something doon
Something.
sa chicken na
Mm-mm.
'yon. Oo.
Tama.
dati red flag, ginagamit lang natin. Ngayon, as in, bagay siya.
Mhm.
Ngayon, we are using this term as a powerful description, no, of a person.
Mhm.
It is a
Mhm,
person
mhm.
right now. Hindi man nga bagay eh.
Mm.
Right.
Totoo.
So ano na siya, parang sometimes 'di ba nagiging embodiment na siya nung person kasi parang red flag. Ay, so red flag na lang yung nakikita natin dun sa tao, wala nang iba.
Mm. Totoo nga naman 'yan. So, ano ba? Saan ba natin unang narinig 'to?
Mm. Hindi, first of all, why tackle this episode? Siyempre juicy.
Mm.
Just seriously, in this generation, there are so much terms, slangs, that becomes more popular. Tulad niya, napakasimple lang, di ba? Pero label na siya on someone. Napaka-powerful niya. It sets a wrong notion on the person. Your titos and titas want to share our perspective. Let's look back 15 years ago versus now. Dati ba may red
Grabe,
flag?
parang tagal.
Dati ba
Parang
may mga
tanda na
red
natin.
flag?
15 years
Diba?
ago ba talaga?
So tagal na, oh my God. 15 years. Sige, 10 to 15 years. Let's put range. Because 10 to 15 years ago, wala pang social media talaga. Kung meron, parang hindi siya ganito ka-toxic. No? Hindi
Mhm.
siya ganito ka-creative somehow. So, we want to tackle that. As millennials, we want to differentiate how is it then and now. So, saan ba nanggagaling to? Anong katumbas na termino nito nung kabataan natin, di ba? May ganito ba noon?
Mm.
Ating
Mhm.
alamin. Okay, so Tin and Carlo, I want to know your ideas and opinions about this. Have you heard
Nako,
of
eto
this
na.
term? Oo, have you heard of this term? So, where, when, and how? Paano nyo narinig ito? Saan nyo narinig? Kailan nyo narinig? Tin?
So, where, when, how? Um, Siguro yung pinakaunang recollection ko of a red flag isn't that much a long time ago. Ay, shucks, hindi pala. Ano pala yun, no? 10 years ago na pala to. Kasi I think the first time I've heard of a red flag is mainly used in business. So, parang medyo ang naalala ko na dito, nag-work na ako. It's about understanding yung mga red flags within the organization. Kasi when I
Corporate
started
na.
working, siyempre, nasa IT, ganyan. I started out as an applications support for a
Mhm.
FMCG. And then we mostly deal with parang tickets. So, siyempre, pag may ticket, ibig sabihin may problema, may red flag.
Mm.
So, 'di ba, parang, 'pag nagkaroon ng issue, kunyari hindi dumating yung invoice, walang magbabayad. So, that's a red flag. So, I remember, visually in that, technology, kasi we're using SAP. Meron dun, we are supporting a middleware application. Tapos ang ginagawa nun, papadala lang niya yung message from one business to another. And if that message didn't push through because of some technical issue,
Mhm.
meron siyang red flag. As in, red flag yung icon
Okay.
niya. So it means na hindi na-process ng maayos yung message. So that's the earliest parang recollection na
Recollection.
naalala ko na
Mm.
technically red
So,
flag talaga yung tawag sa kanya.
red flag. But
Hmm.
it was not used back then as someone to describe a person, right?
Oo, hindi. That particular
Hindi siya
term,
familiar,
yeah,
no?
nakikita ko siya
Mm.
ano,
Yeah.
work-related.
So, work-related, where, when, and how.
Mhm.
Okay. How about you, Carlo? Where, when,
It's
and how did you,
it's weird.
uh, mm,
It's weird for me kasi hindi siya hindi ko siya na-encounter as a term. Hindi siya terminology for me. Um, Similar with tin, nakita ko lang siya like kuno ifa-flag mo yung email.
Hmm,
Yung gano'n. 'Di ba sa
Outlook,
Outlook
oo, tama.
merong flagging ng email. Um, ano pa ba, yung okay, sige, millennial tayo, 'di ba? So, siyempre sa
Oh my
Minesweeper.
gosh.
Oh.
ah,
'Di ba? 'Di ba
yes,
sa
oo,
Ah,
yes.
Minesweeper?
Oh
oo
my
nga.
gosh,
Do'n
when
ko
you
lang siya
said
nakikita, pero hindi ko siya never ko siya na-encounter na ano, na tipong ginagamit siya as a term. Even at work actually, hindi ko siya na-encounter. Siguro nakalimutan ko lang, pero tipong on extreme cases, nagagamit siya na parang warning, red flags na to, ito yung mga tasks na kailangan, something like that siguro.
Mm.
But that's already on extreme cases. So, uh, I guess I can say na parang recently na lang, mga late, um, uh, yung mga 2018 and later na lang, doon ko na lang siya parang naririnig na ginagamit as a term na parang you're associating um you're associating a set of checklists na warning
Mm,
that makes it a red flag to a person,
true.
to a to a to a
so,
personality of a person, ganyan.
so 2018 parang lumulutang na yung parang description, nagiging description na siya in general, no?
Hmm,
Hindi na siya
Mm.
before kasi going back dun sa Minesweeper,
Teka,
work.
minsan yung
It's
spicy
something
nakapaghahataan
more
tayo.
chicken, gusto ko
warning.
yun, yung spicy
More
chicken.
of a warning. Oh, yes, oo. That's actually, 'di ba, Minesweeper? Yung mga hindi naglaro na diyan ng Minesweeper, yung mga Gen Z kasi
My
hindi
gosh.
na nila alam ang Minesweeper. 'Di ba? Oh my God,
Pindot ka na
lord.
lang ng
So,
pindot hanggang sa ano, maging red flag.
Oo.
oo. Nung mga panahon ba natin mga mare, mga pare, may ganito na ba na terms? In general ha, hindi lang red flags. May ganito na ba?
Hmm,
If yes, would you cite some examples?
feeling ko hindi red flag yung tawag, eh. Kasi ang naalala ko nun na
Mhm.
if you're pertaining it to like what we're talking about relationships or people, ang naalala kong tawag namin ekis, eh. Parang
X.
ekis, oo, parang
Eh.
ekis. Ekis siya. Pero yun yung naalala ko, pero we never use the term red flag, for a person
Uh-huh.
before. Ay! Nagpa-sounds, gulat ako.
Buzzer beater.
Thanks, Patty. Thanks, Patty, for making an admin sa chat, ha? But yeah, go ahead.
Ayun, so yun yung naalala ko
Yun.
talaga, ano siya, ekis. Ekis siya, hindi siya red flag.
Oo, at saka oo, yung mga terms kasi nun binabaligtad lang yung spelling, 'di ba? Pero walang ibig sabihin,
Mm.
parang straightforward lang,
Mm.
Para Tom Goods na ako, ganyan, yung mga
Oo.
gano'n.
Oo.
So, at saka problema lang natin nun thesis, eh.
Oo.
Thesis do well, Counter-Strike, ayan. Dun sa start ng mag-ano ang Dota before, dun sa mga I think, if I recall correctly, college talaga nag-ano yun.
Mm.
College talaga siya nag-start.
Mm.
So, yun ang mga pinoproblema natin. So, may mga ikaw Carlo, baka may na-encounter ka na terms na same as
In
right now, na red flag?
Wala din, eh, hindi siya term.
Wala, 'no?
Parang, dati kasi, the way I remember it, kasi siyempre nung college lalo na uso yung mga, girlfriend, boyfriend, 'di
Mm.
ba? So, kung saan-saan sila hangout,
Hang
ganyan.
out.
So, sa ilalim ng hagdanan.
Hala!
Sa likod ng pintuan, gano'n.
Oo, sa likod ng pintuan. Pero kasi, tapos kapag, when a classmate, goes out with someone, with another classmate, tapos kilala niyo yung kung sino yung dinedate niya back then, it wasn't really parang, "Hey, may mga red flags yan." Walang gano'n, 'di ba? Um, parang, "Uy, wag mo siyang," instead of a term, instead of labeling, parang nag-uusap talaga kayo na parang sasabihan niyo, "Uy, sure ka ba? Kasi alam ko," nagiging tsismis, eh, pero, "Alam ko ganito yan, ganyan, ganyan,
Enumeration
ganyan
pala.
siya."
Mm.
Oo, enumeration. Walang label yung list, yung enumeration list na yun. Tapos, kung ano naman, kung, maraming positive traits, ganun din, i-enumerate
Mm.
din niya. "Oh, parang go, sige, support ka namin kasi ganito siya, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan." But in terms of the term red flag, it's either hindi ko lang alam or talagang hindi siya ginagamit back then.
Mm.
Ngayon lang siya parang nagkaroon ng collective label.
Yeah. Kasi I don't remember using such simple term to describe a person. Before nga, di ba, wala pang mga hashtag, ganyan. Nakikismis tayo, Star Talk, Buzz. Ngayon, di ba?
Star Talk.
Star Talk.
Twitter na, o yan. Going back nun, masaya na tayo na yung social media natin is Friendster. O, sino may Friendster dyan? Ako, nag-Friendster ako.
Ah,
Naalala ko yun. O, pengin testy. Yun lang yung problema
wow.
natin
Oo,
noon.
pagandahan ng
Naman test.
cursor.
Sige, kaganda ko.
Oo. May
Tapos
themes pa
pag
yung
ganito,
ano, 'di ba?
oo, may theme pa yung profile mo, tapos yung background
Oo.
music, di ba? Pagandahan nun, pabonggahan ng ng profile nun, then problema lang mo lang mag-testy. Tapos, unlike before, 1,000 lang yung limit. Pag lumampas na ng 1,000, second account.
Oo.
Oo.
So,
Gagawin mo na
I'm
yung
pretty
first account mo
sure,
full.
Oo.
yung pinaka nag-enjoy kasi sa technology ngayon are the millennials talaga. Doon talaga nag-start Friendster, right?
Mm.
In fact, may,
Mm.
aside from Friendster, may alam pa ba kayo na
MySpace.
Oo nga,
MySpace? O hindi ko
MySpace.
nag-MySpace.
Yung parang mini vlog yun, no? Vlog. So, sa mga hindi po nakakaalam na makakaalam nito,
Naku, baka hindi na nila
mga Gen Z
naabutan yun, my
makinig,
gosh.
yung vlog po ay galing sa term na video blog. Okay? The blog
Mm.
is a written as in typewritten content na binabasa mo.
Blog
Okay?
as in
Mas
B.
madali. B as in Bravo. Bravo, Lima, Oscar, Golf.
Mm.
Right? So,
Yes.
blog. So, yun yung parang MySpace.
Oo.
I'm pretty sure hindi nyo alam yun kasi mas prevalent, no? Mas relevant ang ang
Mhm.
Friendster, no?
Oo.
Mas madaling
Pero
i-access
alam
ng
mo,
mga
kaka-search ko lang
Tsaka
ngayon sa Google, may myspace.com pa rin.
Meron pa.
talaga, buhay, it's alive pa din. Hindi ko
Oo,
nga
it's
alam
alive.
kung
Google nga.
It's alive pa rin. Hindi ko na nga alam kung ano yung account ko diyan. Hotmail pa ata yung gamit ko diyan.
Pero meron pa rin
Diba?
siya.
Oo nga, no?
Oo,
Tapos
Meron pa.
music videos and people, yun yung nakalagay.
So hindi na siya social media talaga na nag-share ng
Oo,
ideas.
parang
Yun,
hindi na siya.
yun kasi naaalala ko, yung mga sections yung MySpace, di ba? Tapos,
Oo.
what can you say about this? Very techy na siya.
Mm-mm.
Yun yung very, parang, kumbaga, for me katumbas ng Facebook noon. So, yun. How about multiply? Ako, hindi ako nakapag-multiply. Not that I remember of. Ano ba to? Hindi ko
Nag-try
naman
ako.
siya maalala. Pero alam ko, meron ako. Hindi ko na maalala how it goes kasi pinaka nagagamit ko lang dyan talaga is Friendster.
ginamit ko lang siya nun for ano eh, ah, photos portfolio.
So, Instagram
Yun ang
today.
naalala ko. Yes, it's multiply before is Instagram today.
Ako, sa Multiply,
Oo,
nag-vlog ako As in vlog.
talaga.
Oo. So, hindi ko siya maano sa photos. Hindi ako maano sa kanya sa photos. Pero, my gosh, nakakahiya. Pero nandoon lahat ng
Oh my gosh.
kaemutan ko sa buhay.
Oo, yung mga emote-emote, yung mga nakatagong lihim.
Oo, doon, Multiply.
Kasi
Ayun.
kasi
At
yung
naalala
vlog,
ko, naalala
sorry,
ko kasi
yung
no,
vlog nasa blogger alam ko yung familiar ako sa blogging na sa
Yung
blogger.com
kay
siya
Google.
oo,
ginagawa.
parang may domain na
Oo.
siya, 'di ba? May kanyang
Mm.
domain and server siya for that. Pero hindi masyadong natangkilik ang vlog because napag-abot siya ng media, as in photos and videos. I'm pretty sure yung iba diyan, may mga vlog kayong fina-follow, vlog spots, yung mga ganyan, 'di ba? So, hindi siya, would you agree na hindi siya nag-boom talaga yung vlog? May market lang talaga siya.
Ako
Hindi
hindi.
siya na-hit.
I don't agree. Char. 'Di ba?
Talaga? Talaga?
Oo,
Eh, kasi ako hindi ako
malakas siya.
British talaga, eh, ako magbasa, eh.
Kasi parang yung mga vloggers before, sila yung mga nakikita nyo ngayon sa Instagram eh. They all started with vlogging. So, Chris Uy, Camilco,
Yeah,
Vernice,
yeah, yeah.
lahat sila nag-start sa vlog eh.
The NC's Sisters.
Ano yun?
Ayan, so sabi ng commenter natin na si Sid Rojas, marketplace din yung Multiply
Yes,
daw.
oo, daming bentahan.
Right, right, right,
Bentahan sa
right.
Thank you for that.
Multiply.
Thank you for that. Oo, so
Oo.
check out Multiply
Yun.
that. So going
Wala
back, ang simple ng buhay nun, 'di ba? Pagandahan lang ng profile, walang toxic.
Mm.
Um, pero fast forwarding it now, saan ba nanggagaling yung mga 'to? Let's go back sa red flag. Meron bang red flag sa Friendster nun? Wala, 'di ba? Wala tayong mga
Wala.
ganyan. Problema lang natin
Wala
profile
eh.
picture.
Oo,
Tapos
kasi ang
magpapadevelop ka ng dun sa ang social mo naman 'pag may Nokia
oo.
phone ka nun, 'di ba? So, wala pang data nun. Mayaman ka 'pag may data connection ka nun. GPRS pa nga nun, eh. Anyway, so walang red flag nun, 'di ba? Saan ba nanggagaling talaga? How and where do you think this is becoming relevant? What do you think? Saan ba talaga siya nanggagaling?
Feeling ko sa
Hmm.
birth of memes. Hindi ko alam.
Ako, feeling ko dahil madali na mag-eavesdrop. As in, magkamali lang si ganito,
Mm.
lalo na pag popular yung nagkamali, ang bilis kumalat, 'di ba?
Mm.
Ang bilis, kahit i-delete mo siya in a few seconds. Naku, screenshot, ayan na. Doon nanggagaling.
Resibo.
May resibo ka na, 'di
Oo.
ba?
Tsaka parang
Mm.
everyone wants to put something out there. So, aside from ang dali na niyang
Mm.
i-keep, lahat ng tao gusto nilang maglagay ng content about themselves na parang
Right.
kailangan makita ng buong mundo na ito. So, ibig sabihin kapag
Yeah.
may nagkamali or may nangyari na hindi maganda dun sa pinakita mo before na parang, hey, world, this me. Parang makikita ka rin na, oy, nakikita namin ng buong mundo na ganito yung nangyari sa'yo. So, parang apart from dun
Oo.
sa madali na siyang screenshot, lahat din ng tao ma-post.
Mm. Di ba? Ganun agad.
Nagulat ako, ano ba?
Ganun agad. So, syempre, I asked this because I saw one TikTok video na napakaganda ng sinabi ni ate. Hindi ko na na-capture kung sino yun. Hindi ko nga alam kung na-like ko yun, eh. Parang, ang red flag ba can be associated sa flaws ng tao?
Good question.
How about you? How about you? Carla, what do you think?
Yun yung nangyayari ngayon, 'di ba?
Mm-mm.
When we say red flag, it always connotes na red flag, meaning meron kang nakita sa listahan. Sa listahan ng
May
red
checklist ka,
flags.
no?
Oo, parang kulang na lang may umiikot na kopya ng listahan na yun sa bawat tao na sinishare. Tapos parang may checklist ka na lang kung kung ano yung nakikita mo
Mm.
about that person. Pero siguro the term itself, kasi 'di ba uh, I mean common behavior ng tao, uh, kapag meron kang nakikitang common um, na characteristics of a certain, sabihin na natin, of a certain person, nabibigyan natin siya ng label basically. Parang yun nga, parang nagiging listahan
Mm.
siya. So siguro, hindi naman siya particularly red flag. It's just that because of social media, na nakikita ng mga tao na ito yung mga na-associate na personalities, attitudes, and whatnot characteristics na negative.
Mm.
And then, parang siguro na-coin lang yung term na red flag kasi it's always parang, wait lang, warning, nakita ko yung kumbaga, yung characteristic na to was common to people perhaps breaking up, to people
Yeah.
na, kumbaga, hindi maganda yung, nagiging
Naging
toxic yung
experience.
relationship, right?
Yeah.
So, which
So
led
parang,
to that idea. Mhm.
oo. So parang Carlo, di ba, that's a good point. There's a list. Then apparently, dahil nako-coin yung mga terms na to on describing, hi
Ay,
Carlo, are you
nawala
there?
yung video.
Sige lang, sige lang.
Yeah. So, dahil nako-coin yung mga term na to, may list ka na. But right now, parang na-enhance yung list mo, nakakategorize mo yung mga items na nasa list mo, right?
Mm.
Di ba? Parang, so, in context, are flaws really in the context of physical? What do you think? Kasi parang ang ano ng flaws it can be physical,
Broad.
can be some broad,
Mm-mm,
right?
mm-mm.
So, how do you spot one? Sige.
Oy,
So,
ang hirap ah.
ang hirap, diba? So, are we all in agreement na red flag can be a flaw, but not entirely? Because nobody's perfect, di ba?
Oo.
Yes.
Kung ganun talaga siya, hindi naman, kung parang subjective din sa tao yun.
Oo.
Mhm.
So, if it's subjective sa tao, how to spot one? So, let's talk about a person. Sige, let's go straight to the point. Red flag, it's a person. Hindi na siya warning ha. Person na siya.
Mm.
How do you spot one? Any takers?
How do you spot one? So,
Hirap ah.
parang,
Di
kasi,
ba?
Thank you for that wonderful question.
next please. Next na pala. Ayun na sagutin. Pero, kasi ako naisip ko, di ba nabanggit nyo kanina parang, kunyari, meron kang isang tao na nakita, tas may listahan ka, tas makakategorize mo siya kung whatever category there is. Paano malalaman na red flag siya? So, in terms of flaws, I don't think a flaw is automatically a red flag. Kasi as mentioned earlier, it's
Agree.
subjective. So, what what a red flag to me is may not be a red flag to Carlo, to you, Kim. So,
Mm.
parang sa akin, how do I spot one? Siguro kung parang maging generic siya, that magiging relatable to others, hindi yung parang subjective, is babalikan ko yung definition nung actual red flag. It's something that gives a warning of trouble. Yun yung sabi ni Google, ni parang Google. So parang
Mm-mm.
kung meron siyang trouble, parang I don't think a physical appearance is a red flag because it doesn't mean trouble to me. It doesn't mean trouble to
Mhm.
you unless you look at it as parang grabe, ano naman ito, napaka-judgmental na tao. Parang ayaw mong maging kamukha nung mga anak mo yung taong yun. Kunyari ganyan. Pero in
Mm.
essence, um, hindi siya red flag to me because as it is as it is. Parang gano'n. So parang sa akin ang red,
Parang gano'n na siya, parang embedded na sa tao, di ba?
oo, pero parang it's not parang it's a flaw na kunyari hindi ko siya type, gano'n. It's a flaw kasi hindi ko siya type, di ko gusto yung itsura niya, di ko siya type. Pero it doesn't mean na that person is a red
Red flag.
flag kasi it doesn't give me a warning of trouble. parang hindi ko lang siya type.
Mm.
Kasi hindi ko siya,
Hindi
hindi
mo
ko gusto
hindi mo lang
dito.
siya bet,
Mm.
no? Hindi mo lang siya bet,
Oo.
gano'n. Pero it doesn't okay, that
Wow.
makes sense. That
Nasa
makes sense,
presence
that
tayo
makes
ng
sense.
isang
Ay, wow!
saint.
Oo.
Kasi,
Oo,
kasi 'di ba, may yung
that's a very
ibang
good point
ano,
because oo.
yung ibang perspective nun kasi 'di ba, which is kahit ako parang hindi ako agree dun sa idea na yun. Being subjective. May mga tao that associates looks
Mm.
with trouble.
Mm.
Yes.
Naku, yung mga ganitong itsura, ganyan. Yung, yung
Ah,
mga, di
yes!
ba?
Oo.
Yung mga ganito kagwapo,
Mga
manloloko
pabling
yan.
yan.
Yung
Oh,
mga ganito
yan.
Pabling,
kagwapo.
oh
Yes,
my
yes.
gosh.
Di ba?
Millennial girl.
Oo, pabling. Oo, chick boy.
Yung
Pwede
mga
sa chicks, pwede sa boys. Ganyan.
and I must add to that, hindi na nag-e-exist yun sa generation natin. I mean, walang nagsasabi niyan. Usually, nagsasabi niyan, mga matatanda sa atin. Right?
Mm-mm.
I think,
Yeah. Yung mga elders natin nagsasabi niyan, especially mga titas. Particularly titas. Titas
Kasi,
advising their nieces, right? So,
oo.
parang may
Ah,
misconception,
yung
no?
mga,
May
huwag
misconception
kasi
talaga.
masyadong gwapo kasi habulin yan. Yung mga ganon.
Oo.
Oo. So,
Ano ba
yes,
yung itsura nung boyfriend mo?
then
Parang
ano, parang,
magnanakaw.
Grabe.
ano, grabe ka naman. Grabe ka sa magnanakaw.
O hindi may mga ganun nga. Nagiging judgmental na
Oo,
talaga.
totoo naman. Totoo yan.
Actually, parang, before kasi, talagang, kung gaano kasimple, sige, mabait, gwapo, pero yan, may warning pag, pero hindi siya red flag before, di ba? Parang, ah, parang,
Uy,
ano lang,
darating yung
parang,
boyfriend ni ano, itago mo yung mga yung mga alahas.
Grabe.
delata, gano'n.
Yung mga delata, itago mo.
Eh, no? Binibig na lang ako
Yung
naman.
spotlight na
Oh,
patago.
which brings me, kasi ngayon, nung nababasa natin sa social media, madalas, if if not all, almost almost lahat ng nasa list is leaning towards lalaki.
Mhm.
Mm.
Parang,
Napansin ko din.
'di ba, mga guys,
Mm-mm.
ang lahi ni Adan, yung nagiging ano 'yan? Kumpulan ng ng description na red flag, 'di
Mm-mm.
ba?
Mm.
Does it necessarily translate na parang for me, napaka-sexist kasi
Mm-mm.
nun, na lalaki lang ba ang pwedeng maging red
Mm-mm.
flag? Dahil ba, syempre, hindi naman magsasalita yan hindi naman in general, parang it's a common, sa lalaki, hindi magsasalita yan.
Mm.
Usually, ngayon, lahat ng nakikita ko, they're pertaining a red flag to a person, particularly a male. Right? May nakita na ba kayo nag-post ng red flag, babae?
Wala
Diba?
pa.
Parang,
Wala.
Nandudun yan sa
Kasi siguro
nandudun yan sa picture nung mga 5 lalaking nagiinuman eh. Lahat sila lalaki, di ba?
si D, si G, si S.
Oo. Diba?
Ayun. Alam niyo na yung mga yun.
Oo.
Dahil sa picture na yun.
Puro lalaki. Actually
Okay,
oo.
sige.
Puro nga lalaki. Hindi pa ako nakakita ng babae na well, mostly kasi itong mga, sige sabihin natin showbiz, di ba? So, parang yung mga nakikita mo madalas, hindi siya, parang nakakahanap ka ng red flag because of something that they did to their partner at mostly it's a guy.
It's the
Oo.
guys, yes. And I think naha-highlight yung ginagawa nung guys rather than the girls or the women being the victim.
Mm.
Mas may I forgot yung term talaga, pero parang may mas amor ka doon sa victim, which is usually the girl, versus doon sa
Usually, we're not saying it's entirely girls ang biktima. But
oo.
have you ever experienced or read or heard someone na guy, male, sasabihin niya red flag yan? Hindi ko ma-imagine na magde-describe siya
Red flag.
ng girl na red flag. 'Di ba? Parang
Well, ngayon ko
hindi
na
ko
lang siya
ma-imagine, but I'm not
na-encounter.
entirely sure na that's the case, right?
Mm.
Oo.
So,
Yun. Ngayon ko na lang siya na-encounter actually it yung red flagging
Mm.
ngayon works on both sexes na.
Oo.
Hindi na
mm,
siya more sa lalaki lang
mm,
because kasi merong stigma 'di ba na uh, you can't really put you can't really tag the girls or the women na red flag kasi um taga-receive lang sila. Something
mm,
like
Mm.
that. Merong ganong
yeah,
misconception, merong ganong stigma before. And whatever happens to them is always the fault of the guy.
Mhm. Meron akong friend na, guy, I just remembered kasi he's, dating using a dating app. Tapos naalala ko na-realize ko meron pala akong context of a guy flagging a girl as red
oh,
flag.
okay.
But
Girl, okay.
it's not the term red flag. Parang ang term niya is delix. Delix.
Oh,
'Di ba?
Delix
Delete.
ng
Oo,
mga chong, parang
Oo,
delikado.
ganon.
Oo,
delikado,
delete.
delix. So,
Siyempre,
parang
oo.
for example, si girl masyado siyang nagde-demand ng time dun sa guy when
Mhm,
they're just parang getting to know each other and talking on, within the dating app, messaging, ganyan. So, parang for
Mhm.
my friend, delix yun, baka clingy masyado. So, parang
mhm.
na-realize ko ngayon lang na parang, oo nga, meron meron din pala. Pero it's not as much as parang when we
Yes.
see, others tag ano, red flagging a guy.
Mm.
Mm.
Sabi nga ni Sid Rojas dito sa TikTok live, rare
Ayan.
rare yung cases na ganyan. Very rare. And right now, realizing it, hindi ta siya ngayon matatag nating red flag yon yung girl. Pero men rarely post about it,
Mm.
right?
Yeah,
There is this
it's on
one,
parang private conversations.
yes. Just to share, there's this one TikTok lady that to be honest about it, I blocked her because it's being toxic.
Juicy
She's
block.
an yeah,
Wow, may
she's
basher.
evangelizing
Ay,
that girls know your worth, ganito ganyan, ganito ganyan. But ang dami niyang demands sa balat niya,
Mm.
gano'n. And nag-comment itong ex niya na parang pinabulaanan niya, pinabulaanan,
wow,
pinabulaanan
big
no,
word.
yung mga sinasabi nitong certain girl na 'to na parang, "Know your worth," ganito ganyan, if you're demanding sa first date dapat yung guys ang magbabayad sa first date, gano'n talaga.
Mm.
Parang kung which denotes ang dami niyang beses ginamit yung red flag na term.
Mm.
I just remember right now, binlock ko 'tong certain nito, mamaya ite-text ko sa inyo. Ang ang username niya nagsa-start sa letter L.
Ay!
Binlock ko siya because it's toxic and ang daming in fact, in fairness, very rare,
Mm.
pero I consider this person, speaking from the context of her discussing it a red flag, I consider her as a red flag.
Hmm.
Because dun ko na ano, na ang daming nag-comment, ang daming nag-stitch ng video na puro guys. Parang, ate, iba na yung panahon ngayon. Parang, you don't expect guys na sila palaging magbayad, ganito ganyan. Siyempre, guys yan. First impressions
Mm.
last. So, parang best foot forward. Parang, she's evangelizing that women empowerment, ganun. But, it's becoming toxic. Halos lahat. Parang, if there's a list of 10, one lang ang papasa
Mm.
doon. Yung 9 na yun, red flag agad.
Mm.
Ganon yung tema ng ano niya. That's why I blocked her. But anyway, so we're talking as if we're the third person describing a red flag, tayo yung nasa labas ng circle. Okay? Tayo nasa labas ng relationship. What if? What if naman um, you become one? Will you realize that you've become one?
Ako mismo, red
Or
flag.
have you encountered have you encountered one? If
Ay!
hindi, wag naman sana. No? You're putting a flag on the perspective of other person. Ang daming hugot, di ba? So, have you encountered one where have you been a red flag to someone or have you encountered one?
Hmm. Yes to both questions, Tito Boy.
Paka-showbiz.
Di ba? Yes to
Oo, yes
both.
to both.
Okay,
Kasi,
sige.
um, my experience, ah, basta itago na lang natin siya sa letrang D.
Wow! may, may
Parang
blind
kilala ko na, di
item.
ba?
Pero in essence, parang red flag siya kasi that person did something before, and then later on did it to me. So parang ang nangyari, history repeats itself. So yung red flag sa akin,
Nabasa ko yan.
meron siyang historical reference na hindi ko parang ni-red flag. So,
Hmm.
dahil dun, um, nag-fall apart yung whatever kung ano yung meron. Whatever. Basta whatever lang siya. Tapos, naging red flag ako for the person, the same person ha, because meron siyang gustong pagsabihan about us, pero
Oh, yeah.
ayoko. So
Mm.
parang that led him to doing what he did before to me. So parang naging red flag kami ng isa't isa.
Oh, napaka ano, relevant ng
O,
ano
di ba?
ha, ng example. You've
Pero,
become a
pero
red flag to
na-confused ako
someone.
I'm
I'm
confused.
confused.
Red
Pero
flag ka sa
sige.
kanya, red flag siya sa'yo. So,
Oo, na-red flag
fair.
ako kasi in essence, I don't wanna tell the world.
Of his love.
Pero I think that's BS. I think that's bullshit na dahil lang you want to keep it private. I don't think that's being a red flag.
It's not
But yeah.
about keeping it private. It's about not
Oh,
really telling anyone.
secret talaga.
Period.
Mm.
So gusto niya ano, kiss and tell, ganun.
Hindi, parang gusto niya lang maging malaya na alam ng lahat.
Ano?
Moira.
Sige, pasok Moira.
Baka maka-copyright tayo.
Oh, di ba? Well, hindi pa tayo pwede magkanta. Baka naman may sponsors dyan. So ikaw, Carlo, have you ever
Um,
encountered
Thank you for
a
that
red flag?
wonderful question, Tito Boy.
Or did you feel that someone tagged you as one, as a red flag?
Sige. Same with Tin, yes to both, I think. Siguro as we age, nag-iiba yung dati kasi when we say red flag, it's just a blatant checklist, 'di ba? Parang na-experience mo to, nakita mo to, na ginagawa niya, nakita mo to na sa behavior niya. Ano na 'yon? Mark na kaagad 'yon, X na kaagad, 'di ba? But now, we have this context of growing up, of self-development. So para sa akin, sige, sagutin ko muna yung ano, yung ako yung naging red flag.
Sa kanya?
Kasi,
Okay.
oo, dun sa kanya. Kasi, ang tawag dito, just like Tin, meron din akong mga tipong I want to keep, or paano ba? Things that I don't want to do, but the other person wants. Sige, let's keep it ano na lang, broad. And I think yun yung nagiging red flag for certain people kasi parang red flag siya kasi parang akala nyo jive kayo tapos pag as you get to know each other meron palang mga parang maliliit na items na hindi pala kayo
Mm.
nag-agree.
Swak, yes. Hindi swak sa
Oo.
panlasa
Mm.
niyo, di ba?
Oo. Sometimes, or yung default behavior ng tao is parang, ay, hindi tayo swak. So, red flag na kaagad
Mm.
yun. 'Di ba?
Yes.
So, pero para sa akin, I mean, so, doon ako, I believe, naging red
Mm.
flag.
Red
Pero,
flags. Yeah.
knowing myself, knowing my personality, I am also self-aware na gusto niya, meron siyang gustong gawin o meron siyang gusto na hindi ko kayang gawin at that point.
Mm.
Mhm.
However, sa tinagal nung relasyon na yon,
Sabi
parang
natin sa
nagkaroon din
X
naman ako
years.
ng, oo, nagkaroon din naman ako masasabi ko naman na nagkaroon naman ako ng
Mm.
growth kahit papaano, na
Oo.
parang there is parang parang let's oversimplify. Kung dati siguro I'm afraid of riding roller coasters, for example, parang over time, parang it wasn't so bad.
Mm.
And parang alam ko na takot ako, pero parang sinubukan ko lang ulit.
Eventually.
And then parang eventually nag-enjoy na
Mm.
ako. So
Mhm.
that's an
Mm.
oversimplification. Pero so kumbaga, as you grow old, nagbabago ka din. Yun.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
the red flags shouldn't be permanent. Yun. Pero
That's a good
Mm.
point. That's a good point.
'di ba? So tapos yung other side naman nun,
Na siya
m-
naman, okay. So, are you saying that the other side is that you tag this person as a red flag?
yes.
So tell us more about it.
Kasi, let me explain. um, um,
Uh,
it's similar
Disclaimer
din.
lang po, wala pong napahamak na animal pag-shoot ng podcast na to. So, wala pong
Oo.
views and opinions of the host.
Does not reflect the views and opinions of the network. Char.
What network, no?
Going back.
Ayun.
So,
So,
sige, mag-explain ka sa hukuman.
um, ang tawag
Why did,
dito.
sige, let's go straight to the point. Why did you think that this person is a red flag?
Okay. Red flag siya because the way we started was already a red flag
Mm.
kung paano kami nagsimula.
Pero ngayon mo lang
Pero,
narinig yan.
ngayon ko
Kasi
lang,
before, oo.
ah,
I assume
well,
before, ha?
hindi, alam ko siya before, parang, wait lang, parang hindi yata okay. Pero, dahil ako yung pinili,
Ay, haba ng heart.
so, parang,
Oo, kailangan. Pero di. Charot.
Q Moira, o, di ba? Nakadalawang Moira na tayo ngayon. So,
Oo.
so yun, parang, alam mo yun, as a human being, it's hard to tell, di ba? Kasi pero, it's also contextual kasi, pa-exit na rin yung una.
Mm.
Yun. Unfortunately, just like Tin, history repeated
O, diba?
itself.
Totoo yan eh.
After a period of the
Of X
relationship.
years na eh. Of X years.
X years. X years. Yan.
Yeah.
Diba? So, ano siya, unfortunately, parang, ako, diba, sabi ko kanina, I don't want to permanently tag a person with his or her red flags. Plural. But, unfortunately, there will be times na mangyayari yun ulit.
Mhm.
And, yun nga lang, you can only, masasabi mo lang na red flag pa rin talaga yun. And permanent yun sa kanya kasi naulit.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yun.
Wait lang. Which brings me to and not really a conclusion, but parang ngayon ko na-realize na red flag is a thing from the past. Kasi
Okay.
'pag 'di ba, 'pag, say 'yan kunwari may jowa ka, nag-break kayo, kung na kayo ba tinawag mo ba siyang red flag? Hindi, 'di ba? So, parang 'di ba, does it make sense? Parang I think 'yan tulad niyan sa mga na-share niyo, which thank you, we do appreciate that. At least may sense of reality
Mhm.
tayo and, sense of personal experience 'no. Don't you think that what's common between the two, it's not just the history, but it's a thing of the past? Parang nanggagaling talaga siya sa
Para
past.
ako naman, kasi nakita ko dito yung comment ni Sid sa TikTok. So sabi niya kasi,
Kasi
red
oo.
flag is commonly used if you are still in the getting to know stage or totally wala pang
Mhm.
established relationship. Pero in my case, I guess red flags a doesn't have to be boxed in a
Timeline.
period of time kung kailan mo siya makikita. Kasi
That makes
either
sense.
before or during the relationship or after, parang pwede kang makakita eh. So it's just that in the before, you know that ready ka, ito yung mangyayari. Kasi alam mo red flag, pero parang you choose to
Mm.
get into that relationship. But in the middle, parang
So,
doon sa gitna, habang nasa relationship ka, madami ka pa rin makikitang iba, lalo na within the relationship ka. And
pero would you tag it as a red flag while in your that present situation? I don't think so.
hindi. Tatag mo siya, I guess, before and after.
Yes,
Mhm.
yun yung gusto ko sanang gawin na point. Parang it's a thing of the
Mhm.
past and it will be a thing of a future, but not really the present.
Hmm.
It's
Kasi
really more
mare-realize mo na lang,
because
'di ba?
it's really more because, you realize from
Mm.
experience, 'di ba? Parang,
Yeah.
ah, hindi mo naman masasabi for example, you have a list of red flags, eh, hindi mo naman na-experience pa yung mga items dun sa list na
Mm.
Mhm.
yun. So, you can't really tell, 'di ba? Parang,
Yeah.
you only 'di ba nga sabi ni balik tayo kay
Mm.
definition, kay Google, these are telltale
Mm.
signs,
Mhm.
'di ba?
Yeah.
Pero, how do you know that these are telltale signs? You only know kung
Unless you
na-experience mo na
Oo.
before.
or yeah, I agree. Or there's already your list, may list ka
Mm.
na, which you haven't experienced yet, and madadagdagan yung list na yun,
Mm.
based dun sa experience mo. That's quite a good ano. So, it
Teka,
cannot
extend
be
natin
really
ng
wrong.
konti. So, 'di ba
Go.
yung sa experience ko, parang in effect, uh, I saw that red flag, but I looked beyond
Mm.
it. Kasi, parang binigyan ko
Chance.
ng chance, yes. However, um, dahil familiar na ako dun, and unfortunately, I saw I saw the sign, the signs, uh, ulit a few years later. Pero hindi ako, kumbaga hindi ko siya,
Mm.
tinag. Parang, um, alam mo yun, there are times kasi na ano eh, you will feel na parang red flag na to, pero ayaw mong maniwala kasi, um, parang, either you're giving the person a chance or
Or
parang,
you see it as a
hindi,
flaw and you accept that flaw as part of that person, gano'n.
yes,
Mm.
that's one. Or parang, hindi, nagbago na 'to. Parang naalala ko lang kasi yung dati. Pero I'm sure hindi na siya
Mm.
gano'n. So, those are the cases. Pero, yes, it is still, um, brought about by
Mm.
experiences.
Okay. So, which brings me to the next point, no? Ngayon na-establish na natin na naka-experience kayo or you become one. How do you vindicate yourself from
Mm.
becoming one? And will you ever
Vindicate.
admit, yeah, will you ever admit that you've become one? Will this person ever admit? Let's say, let's put in the context ng recent hiwalayan ni PNCL. Um, P, the guy, was tagged as red flag because of his history.
Mm.
Okay? And I haven't really watched yung interview ni Elle, but sa mga accounts na nakikita ko, sa mga opinions nila, it was really painful. That's one. Two, it has a common it has a common ground from the previous relationship of P, which
Mhm.
is itago din natin sa initials na L. Pareho rin, parehong L. Yung past niya is L, yung ex niya ngayon is L. So, dun ko actually na nakita na naging prevalent yung red flag na term,
Mm.
yung issue nila, to be honest. So, do you think P can vindicate himself? And sa experience nyo, if you become one, if you realize you've become one, will you ever admit?
Mm.
And if you did, if will you ever admit? And how would you vindicate yourself from becoming
Oh.
one?
Ako, sa tingin ko, it's a personal journey. Kasi ang naging problem naman ngayon is because they're part of show business, alam nila
Mm.
na lahat ng mata ng tao nasa kanila. So parang, I guess, lahat naman ng tao na bigyan ng chance to change. And he can do it in his own
Mhm.
time. And I think if he does it, parang papakita pa niya sa tao na nagbabago ako and all, it will come off as parang plastic or pakitang tao or whatever. Kasi parang it started in social
Yeah.
media na parang naggisa ka na dun eh. So parang bakit mo
Mm.
kailangan i-redeem yung sarili mo sa mga taong hindi ka naman kilala as you?
Yeah.
So sa akin,
Parang yung nagtag lang, parang in context, nagtag sa'yo, we're talking about
mm,
relationship, yung naka-encounter mo na we might never have work, so na-realize mo na naging red flag ka. And for sure, after nun, you become red flag from a picture na hindi naman nag-prosper,
mm,
right? So, parang kailangan mo ba mag-explain dun sa person na nag-tag sa'yo? Di ba parang it's a thing of the past? Yung person na yun, it's all in the
mm.
past. Hindi niya na makikita yung future self mo.
Oo. So parang yun,
That,
personal journey
that's
siya for
true.
me.
Mm.
Mhm.
And siguro
Okay.
ano lang, it's quite different for people in that field
True.
of work,
Mhm.
showbiz eh. So
Mm.
you really have no choice but to
Yung,
get
Mm,
judged by
yes.
what
Yung
you
lens. At saka gusto natin yan eh. Gusto natin nakikisaw-saw, di ba?
mm,
Parang, and it's just, na parang, dahil uso yung red flag, ayan, sige, gamitin ko kay X, gamitin ko sa ganito. Parang, come
Pero
on. Di
do
ba?
you notice na nagagamit lang yung red flag from a third person perspective,
Yes, yung
'di
mga
ba?
sumasawsaw nga lang.
Oo. So,
Oo, Marites. With the heart.
Minsan nga na-influence, minsan nga hindi ka nga involved eh, parang siguro kaibigan ka lang, gano'n. Naiimpluwensyahan mo lang yung victim eh.
Mm.
Ay,
eh
red flag
kapag
yan.
pero if you're in that relationship, hindi mo naman sasabihin, "Huy, eto yung red flags mo."
Totoo naman.
'Di ba?
Diba?
So,
Parang
pero
it's a personal journey nga,
Mm,
no? If you ever
yes.
become one, if you ever felt that you become one, you can only vindicate yourself in your own story, not really to explain it to the past. Kasi
Mm.
for sure, pag natag ka ng red flag na yun, kayo pa ba?
mm.
Nag-workout ba sa inyo? Of course hindi, di ba? So,
Mm.
di ba?
Tsaka
Can we
ano,
avoid this? Sige, go ahead.
tsaka
Go
ano
ahead.
siya, tawag dito, you can only vindicate yourself if you become self-aware and you realize yung ginawa mo when you have empathy dun sa ibang
Mm.
tao. 'Di ba? Kasi kung sarili mo lang iniisip mo, parang, "Huh? Talaga?" Parang gano'n yung effect. Parang you don't really realize kung um, tawag dito, effect nung nagawa mo doon sa ibang tao.
Mm.
Yung gravity
Yes,
nung,
oo. So, I guess the precursor for the vindication and for the realization of that of a set of behaviors that we can probably call red flags is
Mm.
self-awareness. Yun.
so, in case in point, you have to be vigilant about it for you to
Mm,
avoid it. How can we avoid such? Do we tell other people? Do we seek advice? What do you think?
Parang, gano'n, oo. Kasi, I guess, friends can say things without filter. So,
Mm.
oh,
Yeah, I agree. Parang, pero minsan kasi mga demonyo din yung mga mga kaibigan mo, eh. Parang, but I totally agree. Your friends will tell you the things that you don't want to
mm.
hear.
Mm.
'Di ba? Parang ang nega nila, ang nega nila mag-ano, minsan demon,
Pero
Oo,
totoo.
tsaka ang
hindi.
dami ng
'Di ba?
terms ngayon,
It's too
Ang dami
hurtful.
ng terms ngayon about
Yeah,
that na parang parang puwede nang ma-categorize yung ginagawa mo as possible a
a red flag.
red flag already. So, yung mga ghosting
So,
na 'yan o,
Diyos
orbiting,
ko
narinig niyo ba yung
dati
orbiting na 'yan?
ay, ano 'yan, Diyos ko,
May
titong-tito na.
orbiting.
Kasi I remember before nung college when ano, I had my ex nung college pero we didn't tag each other as red flag. It just didn't pan
Mm,
out the way we
mm.
want, right? So, dati ang juicy lang sa'tin, "Uy, alam mo ba si gan'to buntis?" Gano'n lang. Parang, "Ay, si gan'to nag-ano, nahuli sa gan'to, nag-yosi
Oo.
gan'to." 'Di ba, parang
Hmm.
gano'n lang kasimple pero actually hindi simple, parang hindi naman siya big deal pero ang juicy lang, 'di ba?
Mm,
Pero not that as this toxic because that's why we're asking these questions. How can we avoid this? How do you become not one? Parang it it somehow it contributes to mental health ng iba.
mm.
Na parang dahil sa sobrang bilis kumalat ng patutsada, ng opinyon, may magkamali ka nga lang, 'di
Mm,
ba, lalo na kung popular ka. A split second of your life can change
mm.
everything.
Toxic kasi, eh.
Mag-post ka lang, 'di ba
Mm,
ang toxic kasi. So, kanina nagtanong hindi ko na makita yung tanong, si Patty, how do let's add this as another question, 'no? Paano niyo made-differentiate ang pagiging toxic sa pagiging red flag?
hmm. Hindi ba ang isang toxic na tao ay red flag?
Red flag agad, 'di ba,
Oo.
for
Parang
me?
kasama yata siya
Oo,
sa
eh. Feeling ko
checklist ng
checklist siya,
red
eh.
Checklist,
Parang
flag.
ano?
toxic ka, red flag ka.
Oo.
Parang gano'n.
Pero
Oo.
let's admit it that other people like that toxicity. For some reason, parang
Naku,
nakakakita ako,
mga
chill
ano
lang
bang
ba o
tawag dun,
toxic? Parang,
sa ano,
hindi
masochista?
ko kaya. Masokista, o 'di ba?
Masokista, oo.
Gusto toxic yung parang ano, hindi ka lang mag-text, hindi, "Babe, baka mamaya patukan kita diyan, eh." Parang ngayon, 'di ba? Sorry not sorry,
OA.
pero yun, sa sobrang dami kasi ng terms that most of the terms are most often than not very
Mm,
negative.
Mhm, mhm.
Tulad nito, red flag, 'di ba? Na nagle-lead sa canceling, ayan yung cancel culture na yan. Parang associated siya dun, kumbaga kung may hierarchy yan ng bracket, ng org chart yan,
Or chart.
red flag. Tapos ano, canceling, parang related siya dun, parang reporting siya
Oo.
dun, parang
dotted
ganun, 'di
line
ba?
siya.
'Di ba, may dotted line pa gano'n, kung may double hacking.
Oo.
So, siyempre can we avoid this, balik naman natin yung sarili natin as a third person. Tayo yung sosawero, sige. Do we confront? Do we confront this
Hmm.
red
Ah,
or do we ghost? No, 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 I'm sorry. Ibalik natin. Sige, sorry. Erase. Tayo pa rin yung nakaka-experience. So, first person
mm.
tayo. Do we ghost? Do we confront? What do we do next?
Siguro kung nung bata pa ako, nung unang panahon, baka hindi ako confrontational. Pero ngayon parang assert I can say that I'm more
Dahil,
assertive than before.
and
Mm.
dahil sa siguro, me, I'm proud of my age. We're already in our 30s. And parang, it gave us wisdom to be tactless, but meaningful.
Tactful.
Parang,
Mm.
tactful, yan. Ayun, sorry. O, di ba? So parang, 'di ba, parang ngayon we had that wisdom na to confront. Going back before, siguro ang naging lax lang before, 'pag may nakita natin negative sa tao, hindi natin inaano na red flag. Negative lang, but we don't confront it
Mm.
then. Right? Maybe now, i-gauge mo muna siya if pwede siyang i-confront, if hindi ka mag-struck ng chords, 'di
Mm.
ba? But how do you how do you deal with it? Ayun. Do you confront? Do you ghost? What do you think, Carlo?
Maganda yung question eh. And I think it has something to do more with personal
Mm.
growth. Kasi 'di ba, these are things na hindi mo naman talaga matututunan in school. Sometimes, yes, matututunan mo kung medyo adventurous ka at marami kang dinidate sa school. 'Di ba? So,
Adventurous.
um,
Ay, wait,
oo.
wait, 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 wait. Segue lang. Pag marami kang dinidate dun sa school ka, malandi ka, gano'n, di ba? Pero
Red
hindi ka
flag.
pero hindi ka red flag. Hindi, hindi
Oo,
yun.
malandi yan,
Hindi
malandi
yun.
yan.
Parang,
Malandi ka, oo.
si ganito, dami dinidate, ganito na yan, malandi yan. Gano'n.
Parang ano pa 'no, parang superpower mo pa
Oo.
yun 'no?
Oo, oo. O
Hindi
going
red
back,
flag.
going back.
Yun. So parang, yeah, it's really more of personal growth kasi hindi mo naman even if sabihin sa'yo yun, you won't really realize unless ma-experience mo siya, 'di ba? Hindi siya tipong parang, "Ay, alam ko na kasi sinabi sa akin ganyan." Eh, kapag gano'n yung ginawa mo tapos parang by the book ka lang, parang sometimes, dahil mga tao tayo, most of the time mami-misinterpret mo yung
Mm.
tao.
Exactly.
Tapos sasabihin mong red flag pero na-misinterpret mo lang pala yung ginagawa niya or sinasabi niya. So experience still yung kailangan for us to grow. And dun sa question is if do we confront or whatever. Siguro the right term pa din I would say would be yung sinabi ni Tin kanina, which is being assertive rather than
Mm.
confrontational. So when you become assertive kasi, you mean well doon sa sinasabi mo. Hindi ka nangaaway
Oo.
kumbaga. Pero
Mm.
madalas
Yung
yan,
mga mang-aaway, yung mga mang-aaway lang man sa'yo, yung mga friends mo. Pero if you talk with this person na in the context of relationship, it should be right. It should be constructive.
oo. But it's not always the case
Mm.
kasi ang default ng tao is magtiis lalo na
Mm.
kung 'di ba, if you care for that person, ayaw mong masaktan siya and kasama yung constructive criticism doon sa ayaw mong masabi sa kanya para hindi siya masaktan.
Hi!
So,
Hi!
kaya medyo mahirap kaya medyo mahirap yung ano, yung how do you practice that assertiveness in a
Mm.
relationship? Medyo mahirap 'yon and it does take time for you to realize. Sometimes it takes several relationships. Sometimes matututunan mo 'yon dun sa bago mong partner. Parang ay bakit kasi mako-compare mo 'yan dun sa ano previous partners mo
True.
or sometimes siguro from a friend, from a mentor, I don't know, from your parents siguro matututunan mo yung ano. But yun nga, it's not something na alam mo na from the get-go. Kaya sometimes it does help to be in several relationships for you to grow as well. Parang yun yung way mo din para siguro, I don't know, para makita mo yung the
Maiwasan.
one.
Mm.
Yeah. And again, we have to keep an open mind about these things eh.
Mhm.
Eh kung talagang masama ugali mo, pag sinabi na sa'yo, eh usually naman nagsasabi lang naman yung mga best friend
Ekis ka,
natin, di ba?
ekis.
Di ba?
Eh, sama pala ng ugali mo eh.
Sama pala ng ugali mo eh. Eh di okay, di ba? eh di, masama ugali mo, eh ayaw kita, masama ugali mo. Di ba parang, tama itong sinabi ng commenter natin sa TikTok, si Sid, again, thank you Sid. We have to keep an open communication
Mm.
about things.
Mm.
Because, tama naman eh, pag hindi mo kinakausap yung partner mo o yung kaibigan mo, nagkakaroon ng lapses or cracks, di ba?
Mm.
Which, pag pinatagal mo, there is always a right timing for confrontation and for talks, right? Na doon nagiging yung foundation na yun na pag hindi nag-pan out sa gusto nyong mangyari, sa journey nyo, nagiging foundation yung cracks na yun to build the red flag eh. So,
Mhm.
you have to keep an open communication. Mahirap gawin ng open communication. That's a fact. Even sa mga married couples, I
True.
suppose,
Agree.
you as
Mm.
married, mahirap i-establish ang good. It's the ideal of everything. It's actually an antidote sa red flag na ang hirap i-achieve. It's very ideal, it's very perfect, but it is what it is eh, 'di ba?
Mhm.
That's actually a good take on things on how to avoid becoming one, how to avoid these toxic terms that we keep on using to tag people. Kasi I think it's being unfair din for some. Tulad ng mga to, sige, let's go on sa mga juicy details. Like si LNP, I think somehow, hindi lang kasi nagsasalita itong si P. Ay, hindi sa may kinakampihan
Mm.
ako ha. Um, May history si P. Again, open, it's not a secret. It's out in the
Mm.
open. May history siya. Pero, yes, sige. Most of the people tag him as a red flag. Na parang they associate P as this embodiment of a
Mm.
person. Na parang, ganto ka, si P ka. Parang, oh, red flag ka agad. Parang, it defeats the purpose of you vindicating yourself, di ba? Parang,
Mhm.
ang dali kasing ma-judge on the other side. On the outside, on the other side of the fence. 'Di ba? Ang daling mag-decide for you na hindi red flag yan,
Mm.
ganito ganyan. Bakit close kayo? 'Di ba? Ang dali sa atin na ganyan kasi gusto natin eh. Ang sarap-sarap ng feeling pag nagko-comment ka sa social
Mm.
media, 'di ba? So parang I think some people are being unfair din because
Mm.
again, one side pa lang ang naririnig natin, yung kay L pa lang. And I don't see the
Meron
in
na
the
si P.
future meron na ba? O
Oh.
yun. Hindi talaga ako, parang naiirita lang ako, honestly, being your tito. Naiirita ako, bakit sausaw kayo ng sausaw sa issue
It's your
nila? Di ba,
sawsawera, tita.
parang,
I
sige,
read the Instagram post.
di ba? Parang sausaw kayo ng sausaw. Tapos, ang galing pa man din ng mga social media ngayon, may analytics, Diyos ko. Parang may nabanggit ka lang sa messenger, mag-a-appear yung related sa video o sa ad na yun, di ba? Parang, it becomes mentally draining.
Mm.
And it's becoming unfair for other
Oo.
persons, for other people. Yun yung flaws lang, red flag agad. Parang ang
Ang
unfair
dami
naman
kasing
nun,
gustong
di ba?
mag-viral
Masabi
at
mo na
maging
talaga,
trending.
Yes.
yes.
Yan, magaling daw sila eh. Kaya ayan, comment lang. Comment galore,
Oo.
ganyan.
Parang yun yung mahirap ngayon na
O, di ba?
parang everything is built on the number of likes, the number of shares. So, parang yun yung
Yes, the number
nagfo-fuel
of
dun sa mga tao na parang mag-post, mag-comment and all kahit wala namang directly kinalaman sa kanila yung mga gantong bagay. So, apart
yes.
from
Ang
Mhm.
dami nating
L and P, syempre we all know G and B.
wait lang,
Si G
sino?
at si B.
Teka, sino to?
GNB, oo,
Oo.
di ba? Yung third person dyan si P.
Mm,
Oo. And apparently,
hindi,
eto, in the context of sawsawero-sawsawera, ito ha, in the social media lang, si Jay, di ba nag-comment, in-interview siya ni O.
oo.
Di ba? Parang vina-validate niya. But, good thing, I must commend B on this. She never said anything.
Mm,
Parang the last thing that we heard from her is, sinabi niya yon. Ganun lang yung comment niya, di ba?
mm.
So parang, kayo, tingin nyo, red flag si G?
Oo.
Diretso, oo. Oo, kasi, mm,
I think so.
ikaw, Carlo.
Hindi ko maalala kung sino si G at si B.
Ay, ipi-PM ko sa'yo.
Sabi mo, ano ba lang?
Paki-PM please.
G si ano,
Oo, ayun na.
dating PBB household.
Oo, ayun
Ayan.
na.
Ah,
Okay.
toxic. Toxic talaga siya.
Eh, hindi niya aaminin, hindi niya inamin at all, di ba?
Mm.
O yan. Okay.
Ay,
O, celebrities yan. Hindi po
bahala
namin
siya
kayo
sa buhay niya.
pangalanan. Sa mga psycho-legal kami. Diba? Ayan. Sino nga si LNP? Ito nga. Si yung,
PNL,
yung
profit
pinagmulan
and
nito.
loss.
Sige.
Profit and
Ito.
loss.
Ito, si D at saka si A.
Sino naman to?
Si D, ito, nag-vlog sila. Sila mag-couple dun sa
Sorry,
house
nalolost
nila.
ako. Paki-update ako
House
ulit.
nila that they built.
Okay.
And then, nag-break sila after a few months. Then after a few months, engaged na si
Ah,
DAA.
oo nga pala.
Oo.
Di
Tapos
ba?
ano, nung nag-break sila, nandun pa sila sa station ID.
Yeah.
Ah!
Oh,
Tapos may
yeah.
bahay na involved.
Oh, tapos may bahay
Oo, may
involved.
pa
Kaya
ganun pa.
hindi I don't know na baka hindi ano. I never heard A talk about it.
Hindi. Wala rin ako nakita.
No, no, no. And even
Yeah.
D, I must commend him. Even D.
Mm.
Basta the next thing I know, engaged na sila. Di ba ni A? And is that a red flag?
Ah, mahirap.
Well, yung mga chismis na
In fairness,
naririnig ko sa tita.
lahat ng naging ex ni D, A.
Talaga?
Oo.
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 Pati yung
I
present niya,
never
hindi
knew.
something common.
Not back.
Ah,
To the
Kambal.
young,
Diba? To the young and beautiful.
Yan, oh. Diba,
Quebec.
may common. Tapos
Oo nga,
yung
no?
A naman na magaling sumayaw na medyo sumikat din siya as a teeny bopper sa DOS before. Tapos lumipat ng tapos yung nagpa-sexy. Ayan. So, too bad. But I do think there's something more
Mm.
to that story. That's why, ganun
Mm.
talaga eh. It is what it is. So,
Ito yung
let's
narinig
pass.
kong ang tawag dito. I call it chismis na kasi ito yung sinasambit nung isang tita ko pag naririnig niya yung pangalan ni D.
Okay.
Mhm.
Naku, kunyari meron siyang may girlfriend siyang bago. Naku, hindi rin kayo ang tawag nun, hindi kayo magtatagal kasi lahat ng babae niyan hindi niya pinapakasalan, ganyan.
Oo, ganun.
Nako.
Itong si
Sabi ko,
ate mong Tinay, di ba,
Oo.
parang,
oh,
naku, di, ganun. Di ba?
Ganun na.
Ganun. So, di ba, parang, I don't think there should be red flagging on this relationship because there's something more eh. And I commend them because they wanted to keep it. They wanted to respect each other by not telling anything more than that. They separated already, right? How
At
about
least.
ito? Sige. Ito, medyo naging hot topic to. I'm not sure if kilala nyo sila. Si S at saka si J, yung bago niya. S is a basketball player.
Ay, ko
Hindi ko siya
kilala yun.
kilala, pero alam ko nandun siya sa picture nung 5 lalaki.
Okay.
Yes, nandun din siya. Ito, ang kwento niya kasi, long
May kasama
time
siyang 5
ago.
lalaki.
Oo, parang nag-engage na sila. Correct me if I'm wrong ha, pero hindi ko ma-recall yung tapos nag-break sila after 3 months, engaged na sila nung bago.
Oh, ito
Hindi sikat yung mga girls. Si S ang sikat, as in super sikat. Super sikat siya in the
Pero
sports
based
world.
on that kwento alone, parang it's either the person that S is a red flag or it's just that na-realize niya lang na nung nag-break sila, na in love siya at na-realize niya agad na this is the person that I want to spend my life with for the rest of my life.
Oo, circumstantial yung sa kanila.
Mm.
At yun ang hilig natin. Ito, actually, yung issue ni S, siya yung pinaka-toxic. Ang daming comments about dyan.
Talaga.
And nabash din yung girl.
Yung
Yung bago, which is Kapampangan. Kilala ko personally. But we're not close. So anyway, it is one of the topics na talaga nag-trend sa Twitter. As in, kawawa si S and kawawa si J. Again guys, we don't know what happened really. It's just that we see the tip of the iceberg lang na nag-break after ilang months engaged. Yun lang yung alam natin eh, di ba? So, which later on, we will dwell into that. Bakit ganun? Bakit ang dali nating mag-judge, di ba? Dahil lang sa pictures, dahil lang sa mga resibo, di ba? Parang, which brings us. Sige, dahil we tackled most of the topics naman na we established that red flag is circumstantial. It is based on experience. How we deal with it, it's It's for your own growth. If you become one, if you encountered one, so be it. Kasi it is what it is. But it's how we deal on it.
Mm.
Ngayon, let's play a game.
Ay, may game, may pagiging
Nako, ito
Let's
na.
mayor.
May game.
Pero ano lang to, as in, very simple lang. Fast talk.
Mapapadala ba yung prize sa Australia?
Hindi. Bragging rights lang to. Wala namang mananalo dito eh. So, fast talk tayo. Red and white flag edition. No, hindi tayo mag-explain.
Ang hirap
Basta,
naman.
if kaya hindi mag-explain. So, we will state some circumstances or terms. We will answer it based on our opinion lang ha. Is it a red or a white flag? Red being warning, Ganun. We're in the context still of describing a person. We have to do this. We have to somehow sit within the boat na i-judge natin yung mga gantong circumstances. Okay? I hope you're fine with that.
Okay.
Pag white flag, I don't think, pag red flag, it's an issue. Pag white flag, it's not.
Mm-mm.
Again, this is based on your opinion. So, sige. Let's start. Mainit-init. Red flag, white flag. Pagiging malandi. Diba?
Red.
Ah,
Red.
red flag.
Hindi na ako sasagot.
But, the joke.
Oh my God.
Red flag yan.
Yeah, red flag. Pagiging malandi. Okay. Next.
Parang
Having a best friend na super
Ay,
close.
red.
Ang bilis pa Ako wait lang. Sige, Carlo, ikaw muna. Hindi pwedeng hindi i-explain to eh. Kasi sa guy's perspective, iba eh.
Hindi ko pa siya na-experience eh. So,
Nakikisagot din sila, red.
pero, yun nga, I feel na it's a red flag kasi, syempre, super close yung best friend. Parang, anong ginagawa ko dito?
Oo. Hindi, ako, honestly, we'll give time to explain. Sige. So, it's a red for you because
Red.
of that.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Ako muna ha. Ako white flag siya. It's because ako, may best friend ako. Practically, parang kapatid ko na and babae siya. I think nagiging issue siya pag opposite sex.
Mm-mm.
Right? And let's be realistic right now. Ngayon kasi sa mga nating LGBT, sa mga kapatid nating LGBT, sa mga kaibigan natin within the community, hindi na applicable yung opposite sex eh.
Mm.
'Di ba? Para ngayon, ako sa case ko dahil lang best friend ko talaga, there's only one best friend in your life. Si Zion. So nasa States and Diyos ko, dalawa na yung anak nun. Tsaka talagang practically magkapatid na kami. Never naman siya naging issue sa mga naging ex ko, di ba? But I think it's just fair and valid for example, ako may jowa ako, na magselos yung jowa ko. Pero parang ko yun, na gawing white flag sa kanya. Responsibility ko yun. For me, it's a white flag. Okay, next. Number 3, sexuality. Red flag, white flag.
Ang hirap naman.
Oo, ang hirap, no? Ang hirap nito. Kasi,
Teka.
sige. Let's give
Context.
Let's give a I think kasi this is applicable sa mga complicated relationships. Let's say, pwede naman siguro banggitin yung pangalan niya. Si OG Diaz. May asawa siya. May mga anak. So, yung wife niya, hindi naging issue yung sexuality niya. So, I think this is more applicable sa heterosexual relationship. So, what if, context, ikaw, teen, siyempre, example na lang to dahil, happily married ka, diba? Say si Lee, nalaman mo na may naging ex siyang guy before. Is that something a red flag for you?
Before.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a red flag because I didn't know about it. So parang kung
not really.
Kung upfront I knew before we even got into a relationship na parang, hey, this is me. I like girls, I also like guys. Parang that would have been okay. Parang hindi siya red flag to me. So, I guess it depends kung kailan ko siya nalaman. Kasi kung nalaman ko siya na nandito na ako, tapos it's something that he kept from me, na it's a very important part of his life, then it's a red flag.
Andyan siya o may
Andito pala
aaminin.
siya. Ang kulit. Ban ako, ban ako.
So, how about you, Carlo? Kasi in fairness ang sabi niya, hirap, Patty said, hirap sa sexuality. No, white flag siya. So, good. How about you, si Sid naman, white. You will accept the person regardless of his or his preference. Yes, that's a good one because you're progressive. Pero let's not deny the fact na may mga conservatives tayo. So, for sure, they're a red flag din sa kanila. You, Carlo.
Ako,
White,
I'd
red
say
flag.
it's white on the same context as tin. Kasi, 'di ba, parang before you get into that relationship, parang as much as possible, alam nyo na pareho yung kahit papaano yung pagkatao ng isa't isa. And kasi kahit papaano, it still entails a level of acceptance. So it's better if you know beforehand bago kayo pumasok sa isang relationship.
So, is it a white or a red?
White siya on that context.
On that context, okay. Sige.
Kasi you have that feeling of betrayal kapag later mo siya nalaman.
Okay, sige. Good point, good point. So, next item. Ito medyo nakakatawa, pero ang dami natin nakikitang meme na to. Sign or astrology.
Ay, nako.
Depende kung ano.
Yung mga Leo na yan.
Mga Leo na yan, red flag yan, red flag.
Red flag.
So, okay. Sign is depende. Pero pag particular sign, there are red flags. I must agree. Red flag ang... There are certain signs na So, are we all in agreement?
Ako, kidding aside yun, pero may mga Leo talaga. Pero anyway. Kidding aside, to me, it's white. It doesn't matter kung ano yung zodiac ng tao. Pero yung mga Leo talaga.
Yes.
Yes. Amen. Can I get an amen on the floor?
Yung mga August na yan.
Mga pinarang na Agosto. Ano ba yan?
Anyway, for me, kidding aside, it's white because regardless of the sign, sabi nga ni Madam Zenaida, ang mga ito ay sadyang patnubay lang. So,
titingnan daw ni Patty kung anong description ng mga Leo.
Hi, hello everyone. So, ikaw, Carlo, red or white? Red, white.
Same context. Generally, it's white. Pero yung mga Leo talaga na yan.
Exact. Okay, let's go superficial. Red flag, white flag, nationality.
White.
But it's just like asking, would you date someone na ibang nationality?
Oh, international.
Yes.
White flag. White flag.
Let's going international.
Ako may preference ako. So, it's white. Bakit may entertain yung hindi mo naman bet, di ba? So, white.
White flag. White.
Okay. Ito medyo juicy to. Feeling ko kailangan natin ng explanation dito. Okay. White. A fan pa more.
Sabi ka na nga ba, may magre-react din eh.
Taas ko ba yung August babies?
Nag-joke lang kami dito. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Si Joe
pero mga August babies talaga na yan eh.
Red flag.
Hindi maka-move on.
Binabalik sa number 4. Number 6 na tayo. O number 6. Ito medyo kailangan natin ng disclaimer po ha. We have to give explanation kung bakit red or white because this is something that we don't really want to tackle. But we highly believe na kailangan kasama siya sa list eh. Right now, dating guide na to ha. So, political affiliation. Red. For me, it's red. No-brainer.
Ako din, red.
Red. Kasi for me, it's yung panin yung katwiran mo, yung pangangatwiran mo, parang it reflects sa political affiliation.
Relax.
Ang presyon mo.
we're not saying any groups ha. So
Asan ba yung katapress?
so pagkabilang ka doon, red flag to. Regardless kung paano ka manindigan sa political affiliation mo, red flag
Ako
ka.
parang anything na on the extremities
Mhm.
of in terms of
On
political
extreme,
affiliation, kung nasan man siyang extremity, whether kung dun man siya or dito or there. Basta in essence, yung masyado siyang extreme that nati-take siya as parang ipaglalaban ko to life or death. Parang gano'n. So, red flag
mahal
siya.
mahal ko siya, hindi ko siya iiwan.
Oo. Hoy!
Ano?
Pero oo, pero medyo ano,
Uy, grabe
Direct,
kayo.
for yung political affiliation. Kasi parang pag nasa bahay kayo, tas kunyari may news, ganyan. Pag napag-usapan nyo, parang baka mamaya pati yun pag-awayan nyo sa bahay.
Oo. Magpatayan na kayo sa bahay.
Actually. O ikaw,
Oo.
Carlo, red or white?
Red. Kasi tawag dito, iba yung objectively mo tinitignan, yung ginagawa and yung platform and yung intention nung co-leader. Tapos iba rin yung being yung
Sure na.
fanatic. Iba rin
Yeah.
yung being a fanatic of that.
Then the tard, diba?
Mm-mm.
Oo.
Yeah.
Kasi kapag fan ka, hindi man na talaga nakikita, hindi ka na objective yon.
Mm-mm.
Hindi ka na
Yeah.
objective, hindi ka na
You're
logical.
blinded na. Parang you're turning a blind eye na.
Yes.
Pag super mega fan ka, like ito apply sa mga K-pop groups, di ba?
Mm-mm.
Ang toxic talaga, di ba? So, sabi ni Sid dito, masaya if may exchange of conflicting thoughts. No, hindi siya masaya. I must disagree.
Pag politics.
Kasi lalo na in the context. Oh, Diyos ko, pag fan nga, pag talagang, hindi, ganito. Diyos ko, baka maghiwalay pa kayo, di ba? Parang kasalanan pa namin, di ba, pag gano'n. Okay, so it's a red flag. Ito, the next item, age.
White.
Red.
White.
White? Oo. White ako.
Ako red. Maybe because,
Sabi niya walang explanation.
Sige, basta red. May ano lang ako, parang may range lang. May range lang ako. May
O basta
range lang.
legal age.
Basta legal age. No to minors.
Oo,
Wow,
syempre,
no to
parang
minors.
minor.
Perpetua, gano'n.
Oo.
Ay, hindi. Sige, ganito na lang. Dagdagan natin to, subtopic age. May December affair.
May December.
Red.
Ano yun?
For me, it won't work for me. May December affair. May December.
Ano yun?
Like Pauline Luna and Vic.
Okay.
Pauline Luna and Vic Soto.
Ako white.
Yan, Maris Racal and Rico Blanco.
White.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. For me, I think it won't work for me. How about you, Carlo? White din? White. Mas...
Pills.
I can see. Okay.
Ang
Next.
hirap.
Ito medyo sensitive tong eighth natin, religious beliefs. Red.
Ako red din.
No explanation, red.
Mm.
Okay. Next, ito, isang buong category siya, tapos may subtopic siya. Social status. In general, ako, red.
Red.
Red, social status. Red. Tapos i-drill down natin nung early. Yun yung explanation natin.
Red.
White sila sa religious. Okay, white sila sa religious beliefs. You're welcome. Your opinions are much welcome. Ayan. Social status. Ano sa'yo, Tin?
Red.
Social status. Red. Carlo?
Red din.
Red. Okay. Mayaman. White. White.
Tayo eh.
Oo. Wala nang isip-isip. White na.
White. Practical tayo.
Yung pagkasal mo, retirement agad, hindi na magtatrabaho.
Oo.
Para mag-aaya ka lang. Tara, mag-bake tayo ng bake cookies kasi nanginip ako.
Oo. Masaya ka
Wala
ba? May credit card eh.
Yan. So, sa'yo, Tin, red or white, mayaman?
White.
White, okay. Ano, huwag mo
Sumagot.
sabihin, batukan kita.
Sumagot.
White! Of course, white!
White. Ito, magkaibang term to ha.
Mm-mm.
Alta.
Ayan, dyan ako red.
Red.
Mm.
Oo.
Red. Kasi may mga alta parang, hindi naman ibig sabihin mayaman kasi. Huwag na tayo mag-explain. Basta red ang alta.
So, in English, elite. Tama.
Elite. Yeah, elite.
Red.
Red.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Guys, answer. Sige. Alta. Okay, ito. What if celebrity? Ako red.
Ako din red. Ayaw ko.
Red. Mm-mm.
May mga crush tayo pero parang ang hirap, diba?
Hanggang dun na lang. Huwag na lang.
Oo, parang, diba? Ito, number 4. Hampas lupa.
Grabe naman, ang sama naman ng term na yun.
Slap soil,
Well,
ganyan.
topsoil, oo. Member ako dun, pero red.
Grabe siya.
Uy, member ako dun, pero red, diba?
Ako parang,
Ako,
parang,
Sige,
sa
sige.
tingin ko, white. Kasi hindi pala pwede mag-explain.
White, okay.
Oo. Pero ang weird, no? Kasi parang when you look at Alta, you say it's red. Parang whether kung mayaman siya or
Huwag na mag-explain. Huwag ka na mag-explain. White.
white. White.
Carlo. Hampas lupa, red or white?
No explanation, but in my own context, red.
Red. Okay. Sige. In my own context din, red. Ito ha, dating kriminal, may hit sa NBI. Red.
Ang hirap naman nito.
Ang hirap naman.
Ako may hit din ako madalas. So red flag.
Totoo. Ay, hindi kasi first name at saka last name lang.
Apat
Ang
pangalan
rare
ko,
na ng
di ba?
pangalan mo,
So, all combinations.
Pero isa lang yung kinukuha doon. Isa lang yung kinukuha doon.
Meron daw
Ako, hello. May hit talaga ako. Pero, so, ako red. No explanation, red.
Red.
May criminal record.
Red.
Ang hirap naman nito.
Red.
Sige na nga, red. Doon tayo sa safe.
Sige. Okay. Sige, i-add mamaya ito. Sige. Last item sa subcategory ng social status. Normal na mamamayan. Why?
White.
Right na
Why?
yan. Safe yan. Physical, okay. Let's move on. Item number 10. Physical aspect in general. White.
White din. Sumagot na isa.
Ang pag-ibabusin? Nakakainis.
Alam mo, gusto mong
Yung fast talk
i-white,
natin ang
pero
slow,
gusto mo kasing i-white, pero ano? Sige, white.
Na parang napilitan siya.
White. Ito ha, i-drill down natin. Sige. 1. Idadagdag ko to ha.
Hindi, red na lang, sorry.
Red
I
daw,
changed
red
my
daw.
mind.
Change his mind.
Red, okay. In general naman In general na lang. Grabe. Nag-change mind. May tattoo. Tatuan.
White.
White.
White, oo. Sobrang ganda, sobrang gwapo. Red.
Sige, red.
Red. Sexy o borta?
Red.
White.
Red?
Arte nung pagkasagot. Red. Next. Sige, ito. Career. Next topic tayo. Ako, red yan.
Red?
Red.
Sorry, I just have to explain. Gusto ko yung magiging jowa ko or magiging long time kung mapapakasal ako, yung career niya talagang binavalue niya. Red.
Regardless of what career that is. Diba?
Hindi. Sa own context ko, syempre yung career na maganda. Di ba nga, babalik tayo sa social status, dapat mayaman. So, red. may white things ako dyan sa career. O,
Mm.
ikaw, Tin,
Red din, career. Pero it's not,
red.
parang it's
Mm.
not about kung anong klaseng career siya. It's just that dapat meron siyang career.
Me too.
Mm.
Yun lang. Plain and simple.
Dahil sa experience ko, red.
Okay. Huwag na natin i-drill down yun, mga
Bala
kaibigan.
ka dyan, red.
Okay, ito medyo practical and very sensitive din. Single parenthood. Red or white? Ako, white.
White?
White.
Ikjun?
White
Si
din.
Ikjun,
White.
Daddy Ikjun?
Ano? Narot.
Yung mga nag-hospital playlist
Oo, yung mga
dyan.
ganitong hospital playlist dyan. Si Single Daddy.
Nako,
Cute-cute niya kaya.
Hala.
Si
Okay.
Ikjun.
So, ikaw,
Pero,
white tayong lahat.
yes, white tayong lahat.
Okay. O, ito naman. Ito, sensitive to. Very sensitive to. Very, I don't think this should be included sa red flag, but we just have to. We just have to discuss this briefly. Health. I'm talking about, kuwari yan, may halitosis, may body odor, ganyan. Kasi meron naman talagang ganyan eh. Yung para kahit mag-deodorant, meron talaga. So, may health problem. May HIV, ayan, may cancer, may lingering disease, or may health history. Is it a red flag or is it a white flag?
Ako
It's up to
red.
you if you want to explain or not.
Ako red flag.
Ako red din. Red flag. Carlo?
Medyo mahirap din. But, sige, for me, may cases na red, may cases na white.
Kung ano yung
Okay. Sige, we'll give you the
intensity ng
floor.
ano.
Sige, we'll give you the floor for that if you want to explain. Why red,
Ang
why
hirap
white? Okay, sige.
Okay.
Let's leave it there. Let's leave it there if you want. But yeah, you may choose to answer or not.
Sige, ano lang. For me kasi, there are, white siya if the person chooses to face and deal with any health conditions there is. Pero kung hindi, red flag talaga yun. 'Di ba? Parang, alam mo yun, kahit tapos kung anong tulong mo sa kanya, ayaw naman niya, para saan pa?
Okay. So it's right. It's case-to-case basis for health. Okay, understood. Oh, ito. This is nakakatawa yung next. Fully vaccinated. Oh, of course. Dapat sa
Vax for
vaccine
vax
dito.
only.
Oo, box
Oo,
per box
tama.
na.
Right. Don't deep na hindi naniniwala sa ano. Which brings me to my next one. So, white lahat tayo dun ha. COVID believer.
Oo naman.
White.
White. Pero teka, yung sa fully vaccinated, white and #vax for vax
Red.
provided na everyone who wants to be vaccinated has access to the vaccines.
Yeah. Hindi, pero yung gusto niya talaga. It's just
Yung
that
gusto
hindi
niya,
siya
yes.
Yes. White flag. Okay. Sense of humor.
White.
White.
Common sense.
White.
What?
White.
White, syempre.
White. O sige, dadagdagan ko ha. Common sense or sense of humor.
Hirap naman.
Ang hirap, no? Ang hirap,
Pills.
di ba? I conceive. Kasi
Dasal lang
when you
talaga.
choose either one, it just means red flag. Ganun lang yung context natin ha. So, for me, sense of humor, white. Common sense, white. But if I had to choose common sense or sense of humor, I would have to choose common sense.
Ako din, mas practical.
Mas practical.
Oo, ako na lang yung may sense of humor.
So, ano yun? Pag nagugutom na kayo, label kayo pa sa live.
Sense of humor. Ako na lang yung sense of humor. Tapos siya na lang yung common
Oh,
sense.
diba?
Combination
Ikaw,
pa.
Carlo, sense of humor, common sense. Actually, last item na yun.
Common sense, of course. Kasi bisit na bisit ako sa
So,
walang common sense.
medyo siya nga, 'di ba? As
Oo.
per my last email,
Uy, grabe siya, may kaaway.
last email. Okay.
Itong mga
So,
Leo na 'to minsan
we
walang common
that
sense.
ends
Hindi,
that
joke lang.
actually that ends the fast talk na naging very slow. Parang in 2 minutes ni Tito Boy naubos. Anyway, so thank you guys for airing your side on which are red, which are white, based on your perspective, based on your opinion. Now that we drilled down these categories, it's easier for us to. It's very easy, no? Have you ever thought it's very easy for us to judge and even plant a red flag on top of these terms? So, in conclusion, guys, since we're ending the session, it's a good run. Is red flag good? And if it's not, what are your advices? And what can you say about being uh, being alive at this generation that there are lots of terms and one of which is red flag? What can you say about that? What are your reflections? Let's start with you, Tin.
Ako, tingin ko parang, you don't need to prove yourself to the world. You need to prove yourself for yourself only.
Mhm.
And that, kung meron mang mga tao na parang dumarating para sumausaw and stuff, magtag ng tao as a red flag or hindi, parang it doesn't matter. It doesn't make you who you are. So,
Mm-hmm.
ayun, katulad sabi ko kanina, it's a personal journey and parang kung ano man yung alam mo na dapat mong i-improve sa sarili mo, ikaw na yung magkusa, tas ikaw na yung mag-address nun. Kasi parang it's going to be something that's going to be healthy for yourself and for your relationship with your friends, your family, your loved ones, and all. So, kung good or bad ba si red flag, sa akin, it's a it's an exercise, I think, for exercise. 'Di parang ano lang yan, eh, I think red flagging is like, your negotiables and your non-negotiables. And parang
Mhm.
ano, yun naman yung madalas na ginagawa natin, well, di pala madalas ginagawa, pero in essence, yun yung mga tinitingnan natin, na, stuff to get into a
Mhm.
relationship. So, I can't say it's good, I can't say it's bad kasi it's contextual. Pero in essence, parang kung titingnan ko siya dun sa portion na negotiable and non-negotiables, it would really help yung person to decide kung ano yung mga decisions na gagawin niya for his or her relationship. Mm.
I must add na parang those are just
Mm.
guides. It only becomes bad if you insist that this person has a negative effect on you.
Mm.
Parang nasa sa'yo lang din yun kung red flag siya o hindi. Di ba? Okay, thank you for that. So it's a journey. It's a personal journey that you have to
Mm.
take, and it's
Mm.
contextual, using or being a red flag or not. Thank you for that, Din. How about you, Carlo?
Ayan. So, kanina nabanggit ko, naalala ko nabanggit ko, parang pag sinabing red flags, para siyang listahan, di ba?
Mm.
Na chine-check
Mhm.
natin. Tapos parang hindi natin alam, merong palang list na nasi-share sa mga tao unknowingly. Na parang, bakit di ko alam yun? Na meron palang red flag pala
Mm.
yun. In terms of red flag, it's very, I think it's very I think it's very personal, ang tawag nito. It's very personal. Kasi, even if you have this list or this list na naririnig mo sa ibang tao, hindi mo naman ma-appreciate kasi lahat ng mga yun unless na-experience mo na
Mm.
sila. So, I think there is no one master list of red flags.
Yeah.
Walang
True.
ganon. But it's really more of ano yung na-experience mo na, ano yung
Mhm.
mga behaviors na nakaka-relate ka, and those items that are in that list na tipong you haven't realized but have experienced. 'Di ba?
Mhm.
Minsan may
Yeah.
gano'n, eh, parang, "Oo nga 'no, na-experience ko 'to before, tapos ganito siya, ganyan, ganyan,
Mm.
ganyan." And then negative yung result, negative yung outcome.
Yeah. Yung
So,
notation niya, medyo nagiging negative, hence toxic, di ba?
mm. So it's very it's unique. I believe it's unique for every person.
Mm.
Kung ano man
Everyone.
para sa kanya yung red flag na yon. Kasi again, um, we grow up, 'di ba? We go through our own personal growth, personal development. And definitely merong mga there are items in that list, in that red flag. There are certain red flags na you can definitely look beyond, and minsan parang uh, sa una parang ano siya, go or no go, pero later parang you realize na parang it's something petty,
You
Mm.
can live with it, yeah.
you can live with it,
It,
or alam mong the person will grow out of that behavior
Mm.
eventually. Yun. So um that's what I think about red flags. It's just a reference, na sabi mo nga kanina, Kim, na sabi nga ni ng ating gabay na si Zenaida Seva, ito ay mga gabay
Oo.
lamang. May sarili
lang.
tayong free
Mm.
will, gamitin natin ito.
Mm.
That's well said. I like the part when you said that we grow from this, and
Mm-mm.
red flags are livable.
Mm-mm.
These are negotiables, and these are the ones that we learn. It's an acquired taste, siguro. So that's one.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
It can be an acquired taste. It is livable, and it can be eradicated. For me, ha, it can be eradicated talaga. It's your story to tell, eh. Ganun yung iniisip sa'yo ng tao. It's you. Nobody knows yourself rather than you,
Mm.
right? So right now we live in the world with the most random terms are being coined, and sounds bougie or sounds social, ganyan. Most of the times kasi we describe a situation or someone ngayon very 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 uso. Red flag, cancel, um, mga fandom din may kanya-kanyang ano that which they can parang pinatent nila, 'di ba? It becomes
Mm-mm.
toxic. It becomes toxic. We really can't help it
Mm.
kasi naman lahat naka-online, ang daling maka-farm out ng information plus madaling
Mm.
magpapuso, 'di ba? Ah, ngayon totoo yung may tenga ang lupa, may pakpak ang balita, digital ang karma, gano'n siya. Ngayon talaga totoo 'yan. Kasi before walang cellphone, 'di ba?
Oo.
Parang nagle-layer on layer na. Ngayon kasi first hand information 'yan, Inquirer.net, Rappler, mga ganyan first hand information na sila or galing mismo dun sa tao, 'di ba? Parang it's a legit source or not. So not unlike kasi nung mga kapanahunan natin, it's okay coining these terms. Pero before in our younger years, 'di ba? These are not something that are toxic to begin with. Yun kasi I think the only being issue here is that red flag, pag naging red flag ka,
Mm.
ink na agad.
Mm-mm.
We see it as a superficial factor of a person. Parang nakikita lang natin yung tip of the iceberg, but we don't really see what's in it dun sa tao na yun. Agad natin na-judge na red flag siya. It's okay coining these terms. What's not is how we become erratic and toxic about it. Parang ino-own natin eh.
Mm.
Parang we are being self-entitled na ito, tag mo yan,
Right.
red flag. 'Di ba? Okay lang naman na makiusi ka, pero practice what we preach din.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
'Di ba? For me, parang ngayon ko na-realize na tag ka ng tag ng red flag, sa ginagawa mo red flag ka. Parang 'di ba?
Oo.
'Di
Tama.
ba? 'Di ba? Parang just be careful. Practice what we preach pa din. Millennials are the one who can neutralize this. Why? Because tayo ngayon nandun nung birth ng internet talaga, yung pag-boom ng internet. Nandun din tayo nung wala pang internet. So we know
Mm-mm.
really how to gauge things. Ngayon parang, madami din akong kilala, nakikisawsaw, and nakikigamit ng mga terms. Pero when you see their lifestyle, parang, are you sure? Parang for the gram, di ba? So again, guys, thank you, Tin and Carlo, for this wonderful run. let's make social media a safe place for us. Red flag or not, these are guides. These are contextuals. And these are very unique, depende sa person. So let us learn. Let us educate other people on using the correct term.
Mm.
Not being toxic, but educate them na before we post something, even describe or even use this term, we let's have to be careful. But because it will bounce back to us. I believe in that.
Mm.
Ang daling mag-bounce back ngayon ng tweet mo. Isang tweet mo, isang post mo, it can change your life forever. So let's just be careful, regardless kung anong term yan. So again, thank you very much for that insightful episode of Red
Balitaktakan.
Balitaktakan.
Balitaktakan. Ang dami kong na-learn, ang dami kong na-learn na talaga tulad nun yung fast talk. Iba-iba talaga tayo ng taste
Mm.
no, ng opinion. May mga common ground naman na we all agree on to, 'di ba? So but we don't know kasi sa ano natin, sa mga live audience natin, iba rin yung sagot nila sa iba. So your opinion are very welcome pero don't invalidate. Ganun na lang, don't invalidate.
Mm.
Yes.
Yung sa kanya red flag sa'yo hindi, eh di hayaan mo siya.
Mm.
Oo.
Let's
Iba-iba
not
naman.
invalidate one another. Let's not invalidate one another. But let's be mindful ng
Mm.
paggamit ng mga terms na to. Words are powerful. Even this one, it can make or break someone. So, again, I'm your millennial tito of Pampanga na nagsasabi.
Ito na.
Ito na. Hindi, spill lang po yun. But thank you very much, everyone. I hope you'll be safe and I hope you spread the good word. Follow us on Twitter, MiTiTi Podcast. And dun po ang mga links natin na ipapublish in the next few days for the link for this stream. And I hope you spread the word.
Mm.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow my account on Twitter, Kimpoy David, and TikTok, Kimpoy David.
Thanks everyone for joining tonight's podcast. This is Tin, your millennial tita ng Sydney, Australia na nagsasabing bukas luluhod ang mga tala.
Mga kala. Oy, ano yung
Wow!
Twitter handle mo? Ano mo na yung Twitter
You can
handle mo
follow me
para
on Twitter. It's at everylittletin, and on Instagram, it's also at everylittletin.
Yan.
Ayan. So, anong oras na ba dyan, Tin?
1:02 a.m.
Ayan. So,
International tayo.
oo, AEST.
Yeah.
Ang time zone.
Yes.
Oh, gabi kami nag-record eh. So, it is 11 p.m. na dito sa,
Time check.
ano,
Time check.
Mhm.
It's
yes.
11:02 Manila
Mhm.
time.
Mhm. Or Philippine Standard Time, PST. Oh, di ba? Kaya may time zone.
Oo. Sige na,
Ayan.
magpakilala ka na.
Sige, sige. Ayan. Okay, so thank you everyone. So maraming salamat sa pakikinig sa aming podcast. So dahil nagsisimula pa lang naman kami and we're trying out this this medium to share our thoughts kasi lagi namin ang dami namin ganito na napag-uusapan and we
We
think
want to share.
as millennials ayokong sabihin senior millennials pero
Yeah.
pero 'di ba as we come of age there's always wisdom that you can share with other people whether it's in the younger generation or the older generation there will always be certain relative and timely wisdom that you can share. Yun. So that's basically the goal of this podcast in the context of us three as millennials.
Bingo.
Yan. So, ako naman po si Carlo na tinatawag din nilang Color, ang millennial tito ng Quezon City na nagsasabing, mahalin mo muna ang sarili mo bago ka magmahal ng iba.
Aray ko.
Charo?
Masaya.
Tita Charo, ikaw ba?
And by the way, you can follow me on Twitter. And Twitter handle ko is I am letter I, letter M, underscore color na British ang spelling kasi
Color,
COLOUR. So
color.
I am underscore color on Twitter. Yan.
Don't forget to tweet us, guys, on other topics that you want to discuss. We'll be back on our third episode, of course, and thank you for tuning in with us. It has been a great run for this one. Don't be a red flag and don't spread the red flag. Bye, everyone.
Bye!
Bye.